Welcome to the Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside the top dog.
Woof, woof, woof. Feel like I've been barking all day.
Hey, it's nice to be back in studio, Hanford. I feel like it was, I guess, a short week because we filmed on a different day last week with the Memorial Day weekend. But how have you been?
You know what? I've been good. Just glad to see this weather starting to change. It's getting to be football weather. Look at it right now. I mean, it's about 70 degrees, 70, 75 degrees. Actually, you sweat a little bit outside, which we actually want. I know the football players are loving this weather because they're getting ready, which we're going to get into the OTAs, and then they got some mini camps and all that coming up. So, but yeah, it's been a great week. I've had fun. This week.
Good.
I've been good. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know you were at the Browns Foundation, a signature event for the Browns Foundation. You're fresh off the golf course, yeah?
Yeah, I am. This was, like you said, their signature event for you hit it right on the head. Their foundation and everything else that Jimmy and Dee is involved in the community. What they do is obviously with this event, I know they raise a lot of money, and plus we all know Jimmy and Dee, they give away a lot of money as far as the Browns Foundation is concerned. And it was just a great event because what it does, Gab, it gives the players a chance to take a break. I mean, every one of them, there were no practice today, obviously, and every one of them was at this event. I mean, they were there. All the coaches were there, and it was just it's just a fun time. And it was at Westwood Country Club in Westlake, which is a very nice track.
You know, I used to work there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, in high school, I was a server.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wish I'd have come in there and gave you a hard time. I said.
Yeah.
I'd have called and say, "Hey, she didn't get this right or something. Can you fire her or something?" No, I'm only
country
kidding.
club. Some country club people are silly like that.
Yeah, but I think Pat talked about it last week. Stefanski is a member over there at Westwood, and because I was talking to one of the guys who was caddying for me today, and he said that Stefanski's there all the time. Normally he plays by himself, or obviously if he brings somebody with him. But the most important thing he said about him, he said he's a very nice guy. Very nice guy. I mean, treats everyone nice. But what do you expect from Kevin Stefanski? I mean, I've never heard anything bad about this guy. Everything I've heard from him has just been on the up and up, and he's just been great. What will we expect from our two-time Coach of the Year?
Yeah, you got to be good with people for that.
Head football coach. We just got to get him back on track. 3 wins.
What do you think his handicap is? What do you think it is?
I
could see him being a single-digit handicapper. Yeah. Honestly,
I agree with you. If not a scratch golfer, he'll probably lie about that handicap too.
No way.
He'll tell you he's like if he's a single digit, he'll probably tell you he's probably a 10 or 12, and he's actually, just like you said, about a 3 or 4 or something.
Mm-hmm. Just like Hanford, Gab, right? Hanford's a scratch golfer.
Oh, listen to this.
How'd you play today, Hanford?
Listen to me. Yeah. Listen to this, guys. I played decent. I hit some good shots, some bad shots, but you got to play this game. That's why I was telling somebody that I was playing with today. Oh, and obviously I had a great group of guys, and one young lady. I can't remember their names, and I feel bad about that, but they say they're going to find the show and watch the show. They wanted to call in. I said, "You can't call in the show. We don't take phone. We don't take phone calls." But I was telling them today. I said, "Man, golf is just such a tough sport. I mean, can you imagine what you have to do? Is you have to play for 4 days. You have to play 4 rounds of 18 holes, and every single throughout those 18 holes, you have to duplicate that swing, that same swing every single time, because if you don't, there's no telling where that ball is going to go." And I had a couple of those today.
Yeah.
I didn't know where the hell the ball was going to go. But you know what? It was fun. We had a good time. Like I said, we hit some good shots, but there was a lot of bad shots too. But golf.
Well,
and before you say this, I was going to say, that's how come I don't understand. People just don't know what Scottie Scheffler is doing right now. It's unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. I think this guy's won like 3 out of the last 4 tournaments. I could be wrong, but he's just that good.
I saw a really funny meme. Did you see this, Pat? It didn't use this words, but it was like Scotty Scheffler is. Never mind, I can't do it. But his son. It was a cute meme. His son after the latest. What was the latest big?
The Memorial.
The Memorial.
Yeah, that's Jack's
Columbus,
tournament.
Yep.
He was holding his son after the game, and his son like pooped all over himself.
Oh,
and so like the meme was saying in more adult language that Scheffler pooped on all the competition, and his son pooped on himself.
Yep.
Well, guys, I was watching too yesterday, and you brought this to mind, the women's U.S. Open, and that's a big tournament for the women.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
I'm trying to
biggest.
get more into golf. I know they have huge events and such a huge following.
Well, you need to get into it because listen to this. That's the largest purse for the women
ever.
Yesterday. I think the Stark, who won it, I think she got like 2.4 million was the first.
Great for the women's game.
Yeah, it was the first. But where I was going with that whole thing was I felt so bad for this lady that was playing with her. I think she was like 20, 21 years old. And going into the last hole on 18, she was in 9th place. And you had to finish in the top 10 to be exempt. You could play in all the other majors that's coming up. And listen to what she did, guys. She hit it over the green. She went to the ball, hit it back over the green. Went to the ball, hit it back over the green. So she went from being in the top 10 from number 9 to guys. I think she ended up like 19 or 20th. I felt so bad. And can you guys, Pat, Gab, can you imagine how much money she lost doing that whole thing?
That's a big part of the game is being able to, with all the pressure on you, the prospect of a good payout, it's got to be tough.
And I know how the pressure is on that golf course.
As you would say, pressure make a pipe burst.
Pressure buzz a pipe when you sit there and you got to hit over the green in the water or something like that. But I felt so bad for her. But that's all right.
She's only 21 years old. She's got time.
She's only 21 and she can play. I mean, but you know who I wanted to win that whole thing? The women's. It's the what's her name?
Nelly Korda.
Nelly Korda. She finished second, didn't she, Pat?
I believe so.
She finished second at
Tied for second.
5 under, and she is just awesome. I mean, she's got to be ranked like the number one
in the world.
Number one in the world. I wanted her to win, but she's like my favorite. I like watching her. Watching her play.
I'll keep my eyes open for these ones.
But
you know me, I don't watch a ton of TV, but I'll have to turn it on. I will be watching, since I know that Peyton's Places, a new episode is in the works. I'll have to.
How'd you know that?
I'll have to take a look for that as well. Before I tell you a little bit more, let me present this by our friends at Smart Choice Windows. If you've been thinking about upgrading your home this spring, look no further than Smart Choice Windows and Smart Choice Bath. Smart Choice Windows is running a great deal right now. Hanford, buy 2 windows and what?
Get 2 free.
Yes, sir. It gets even better. They're offering 0% financing for 24 months, or if you prefer, they also have that no down payment option with monthly payments as low as $199. If your bathroom needs an update, the same great team at Smart Choice Baths has you covered. They're offering $1,500 off a brand new shower or tub this month, so if you've been putting off that remodel, now is the time to go for it. If you're ready for quieter, more energy-efficient windows or a bathroom that finally works for your life, make the call, dial 440-WINDOWS, or head over to smartchoicewindows.com and smartchoicebaths.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate today. And without further ado,
this guy.
It looks like this guy was having so much fun.
Look at this guy, Hanford.
with his buddy Peyton. So give us the details. How did this go down?
And how have you been keeping this a secret?
I know. And Peyton is so funny. I mean, he is just so funny. And obviously, Peyton is from New Orleans. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but he's from New Orleans, and I'm from Mobile, Alabama, a little small town outside of Mobile called Theodore, which is right there. And Peyton was just laughing at me because he knows every time I come to New Orleans, they have a restaurant. A lot of people don't know this, but they have a restaurant called Manning's Place. I think that's the name of it. And I always go there, and I sit right there at the bar. And if it's first, I'll ask if his dad, Archie's there, if his dad is there, and then if he's there, he's going to come out and sit down and talk to me a little bit. But I'll have a cocktail, and I have to eat that gumbo.
Ooh, I love gumbo.
Oh my goodness! And I think
People just like praise the New Orleans
Yeah,
food scene. That's
yeah,
why I really got to get there.
Yeah, I think they have the best gumbo in New Orleans, and you know, for me to say that,
Okay.
that's saying a lot with all the great, good restaurants right there around town. And I told Peyton, I said, I go stay at the Roosevelt, which is, he said, yeah, because I just stayed at the Roosevelt, and we went on and went on and on. But he you know, he has a show, and it's kind of funny. And I was sitting there also in the car. I was between two of the guys, Browns fan, Pumpkinhead,
Okay.
and also the
Look
guy-
at these guys.
Yeah, you know the wrestler like Macho Man or whatever.
Randy Savage,
Randy
yep.
Savage, and this guy is so funny, man. He's a big time Browns fan, but he talks just like you wouldn't know the difference
Yeah.
if you heard him and Randy. You know, the real Randy talk, but they talk just alike. And you could tell I was squeezed up between those guys in the back.
That's so funny that you're in the middle.
Yeah, I'm in the middle, and I looked. Peyton is driving me, and we didn't like that guy on the other side too much neither.
What's
Yeah.
that? What's
The guy in the
that?
passenger seat
Yeah,
there?
we didn't like him.
You don't recognize those that blue or the black and yellow?
You know,
James Harrison,
Pittsburgh
former
Steelers,
Steelers
you know,
linebacker.
You know, we didn't like him too much.
You know, I
He's hit some quarterbacks in our stadium.
So
Let's
we
put it
had to pretend like we liked him, but
That's
we
so
really,
funny.
but we really. Let me stop
I
playing.
know. I see him. He's
Ja-
giving the peace sign.
James is a nice guy too. I give him a hard time, and he and I
I know you had to give all-
we
him a
rag
hard
on
time.
each other because of the AFC, you know, and North and Central, you know, the same division. But I'm telling you, that show, I can't tell you guys how many people were calling me. Oh, you're hanging out with Peyton Manning. You and Peyton hanging out. You and your boy from down south, y'all hanging out. And it was just so many people calling me, talking about that. Even Ozzy called me. I won't tell you the whole story of what Ozzy said, though. Ozzy, what the hell you doing with the enemy? I said, that's what he called Peyton. He said, you with the enemy there. I said,
That's
no.
funny.
But Peyton, I'm telling you, he's a very nice guy.
Yeah, it seems down to earth.
And obviously, we know he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, so they were going down Euclid, guys, or well, I guess I could just tell Gab, but
Yeah.
Right.
Hanford was squeezed into this tiny little yellow cab.
Yeah.
Do I have that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That is
You,
hilarious.
Peyton Manning, James Harrison, Pumpkinhead. Man, that is
What a crew.
talk about a football ride going right down Euclid in front of PNC right there. That's where they filmed Superman. Now
Yeah.
they got Peyton's Place is coming.
Yeah.
When's that coming out? In the fall, probably, I would guess.
Yeah, it's coming
keep an
out in
eye
the
out
fall.
for that one.
And I told
but
him,
look at this car. Look at that.
And I told Peyton, I said, "Hey man, I need to pick up some more dogs." And he looked at me. He said, "Come on, Hanford, you pushing it now."
That's funny. Already in the little clown car.
Oh, it was fun.
I know you just had to have a blast. How long were you guys out and about in Cleveland?
Oh God, it was. We were out for a while. Because he not only did he film with me, but he filmed with a couple other guys. I think
Okay.
Bernie.
Yep. Take a look here, guys.
yeah.
Bernie Kosar was in there as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also Bob Golick.
Hey guys, I was surprised Bernie.
that out.
I was surprised that Bernie was out filming though, because you know Bernie had just had surgery.
Yeah.
He had just had surgery. So, and let me give Reggie Langhorne a little. Reggie has a car service, and Reggie was driving Bernie around and waiting for him and picking him up and all that. So, if you need a ride somewhere, call Reggie Langhorne. He's got a car service. So I had to get that
Nice
in.
little plug.
Take care of my dog there. But it was fun. I mean, it was fun, and I can't wait to watch
Me
the show.
either. We should have
Can't
a little
wait
party
watch
to
it.
like
watch
kick
party.
back and
Yeah,
watch it. A
yeah,
little watch
yeah,
party. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Browns headlines brought to you by our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. If you're out shopping for your home right now, do yourself a favor. You got to check out our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. They've got everything under one roof. That living room furniture, bedroom sets, mattresses, dining tables, kitchen cabinets, hot tubs, those really nice outdoor patio sets. It's all there. And because they buy in bulk and cut all those overhead costs, they sell it to you for way less than those big box stores or those online national brands. No showrooms with fancy lighting, no pushy salespeople, just quality stuff at factory direct prices. And it's all in stock and ready for immediate delivery, which is very convenient. No gimmicks, no long waits. Just great service and prices that leave you wondering why you ever shopped anywhere else. So visit them today in Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton. You can check them out online at northeastfactorydirect.com. And don't forget to ask about
the Hanford Dixon deal.
Yes, sir.
Give you a little something off. It's so funny. Every time I watch Alex on this on this thing, I mean, he cracks me.
He looks comfy, doesn't
he?
Man.
He's just over there lounging. You know, I have to say this. How did you know you like my shirt?
Oh, yeah. It's so crisp.
Yours is pretty slick, too.
Oh, yeah. This is an Ilfie.
I
love Ilfie.
I could tell that that shirt
It's brand new.
Brand new.
He's giving me a hard time because I had to ask them to borrow a shirt because I was already downtown, but I was wearing a different outfit. And I was saying hi to my friends over there. And I said, Dom, shout out to Dom. Hey, can I borrow one of your guys' shirts? And I actually literally already have this one.
Well, that's not why I was giving you a hard time. I was giving you a hard time, Pat and I.
Because you want one.
No, because you said you was going to take it back after today.
Yeah, well, because I already have this one. I was like, I'll give it back to you guys.
And then you looked at me and Pat and said, "Do you guys want this shirt?"
Yeah, are you an extra small?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
What are we going to do with
I'll
that
fit
shirt?
it. Sure. Make it a little crop top. Sure.
Oh, man. You can make it. Who's the guy who loves, don't even tell me. Why can't I think of his name? Zeke
There you
Elliott
go.
with his crop
There
top.
you go.
Okay, hey, Hanford, some of the news, and I know it's a slow news period here, but Myles Garrett missing the voluntary OTAs for a trip to Japan, it seemed like. I don't think that's a big deal, right? Or, I know we're grasping for straws here with, people always weigh in with opinions, and it's kind of from your professional standpoint, what did you think?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's not. We're talking about Myles Garrett here. We're not talking about a guy that have to come in and have to learn the playbook, trying to figure out how things are going to work with this team. Listen to this. We're talking about a guy that every time he lines up on the defensive line, you got double team him. You're going to three team, maybe put three guys on him. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, you got an offense. They're going to slide their offensive line in his direction to try to block him. But no, Myles understands what he's got to do, and he is a leader of this football team. And I guarantee you, if you ask anyone on this defense, especially a lot of the younger players, they all look up to this guy. I mean, because he's got that blue collar attitude. He's coming with his hard hat on, and he's got this lunch pail in his hand, and he's going to show up every single play. Not a guy that's going to take off any plays. So no, I do not think it's a big deal. But I can name a few guys on this football team, and I won't go into detail, that I would say if they wasn't showing up, then that would be a problem. But definitely not Myles Garrett. And where is he anyway?
Japan.
Japan? What is he doing over there?
Hey, he's talking about buying a house over there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, during OTAs, he said, anybody know how to buy a house over here?
Oh, well, the
Korea's
word
not
on-
doing it for you?
The word on the street is maybe he's.
Here it comes right now.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, I don't know. It's just he might be dating someone over there, and
Oh, it's
so
confirmed.
yeah, it's confirmed.
It's
All right.
confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know. Who am I to be chatting about people?
Well, they said
but that's awesome if he's trying to.
Well, I heard it was this young lady is an athlete herself.
Oh yeah, I have a crush on her.
Yes.
Chloe. Oh shoot!
Is she like
I just creeped on her.
Olympic?
She's
Chloe
an
Kim?
Olympics. Yeah, Chloe Kim. She's an Olympic snowboard athlete.
Yeah. Olympic gold medalist. How about that?
Yeah,
Oh
I mean that's
my-
pretty badass.
That is badass.
It's hard. I always get a girl crush on the athletic, female, accomplished athletes.
Of course.
Well, you know what? Good for him and good for her. And sure. Well, you probably get a chance to see her because I guarantee you, if they're dating, once the season starts, she's going to come in here and she's going to be at a lot of the games. I mean, a lot of the games. And again, Myles, do your thing, big dog. Because have you seen him work out? Have you guys watched some of the workouts tapes
Hanford.
that he's put out there?
It's unbelievable.
Hanford.
Are we worried about him coming in here and not be ready to play?
I feel like Myles Garrett. We always talk about how cool is it that we're alive to see the greatness that is Jose
Yeah.
Ramirez during our generation. I truly feel that way about Myles Garrett. Dude's a specimen. Not only is he an accomplished in his own right out there on the field with his accolades to show for it, and as we mentioned, all the double teams, all the people trying to hold this guy down, and he just breaks through, he finds a way. But in addition, he's a specimen. I mean, I feel like he was created in a lab. Every year, I'm just get
Truly.
appalled at how his workout videos are and how impressive they are.
Well, you know what's crazy too, because today, playing golf with the group that I was playing with, Myles' name came up, and we started talking about him, and they said, and these guys understand football, and the first thing they said to me, Hanford, how good would it be? You know, don't you wish that you had someone like a Myles Garrett playing on that defensive line when you started? And I said, yeah, because that's how the whole dog thing started, because we didn't have anyone. You know, we had Big Daddy Harrison, we had just to Bubba Baker, just to name some guy, Bob Golick. And not saying anything bad about these guys. These guys went out and they played well. They gave you everything they had, but they were not a Myles Garrett. One thing a defensive back know, when you have a Myles Garrett rushing the quarterback, oh my goodness, that you could take chances. You could do things normally that you're not going to do because you have to play the way the defense dictates that you have to be where you're supposed to be. But with Myles, the quarterback's got to get rid of it, and he's got to get rid of it fast. And I told him, I said, that's where the whole dog thing came from. Back at training camp, trying to get everybody to bark, and when we bark at them, say, hey, you guys are the dogs, the quarterback is the cat, go get him. And Myles, I tell you, you wouldn't have to bark at him because he's there. I mean, he's there. And now, supposedly, with that 5th pick, we brought in another guy.
Yep.
And you know what? Now, the more that I look at him, is it Mason Graham?
Are you warming up to him?
Yeah, I'm kind of warming up to him.
I know at first it was you were a little indifferent.
Well, I was watching, and I haven't been to practice yet, but I was watching some of the film, some of the tape that they put out there on this guy. And he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. And I was watching him doing his little move, and sure, they didn't have any pads on or anything like that. They're going. The offensive lineman have a dummy in his hand, but watching him arm over and doing some of these moves, I can't wait to watch him. And again, I said I was a little bit disappointed when we drafted him 5th, but I'm 100. Like I said, I'm 100% behind him. So it's gonna be good.
I'm excited for meaningful football to start taking place. I know OTAs. Maybe we aren't putting too much stock in the stats. For example, with this quarterback race, some of their stats went viral this week. You know, Sanders, he was 7 for 9 with 3 touchdowns. Gabriel, he was 11 for 16, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Pickett went 9 for 16, no touchdowns. Flacco, 9 for 14, 1 touchdown. Does this mean much, or is it just, you know?
Yeah, you know what? I saw Gabriel today. I saw him, and he's a little taller than I thought he was. I could tell this guy is a competitor. I could tell that he's going to go out and he's a good quarterback. It's going to be now Shador. I didn't see him today. He wasn't out at the golf course. But I thought pretty much, and he could have been. But because there was a lot of people out there, and obviously I didn't see everybody that was out there.
Sure.
But I know all the coaches was there because Stefanski said all of them, they pretty much had to be there. But it was interesting to see this young man, and I didn't talk to him a long time, but a little bit. And I can just tell just by his attitude that this kid is coming in here and he's fed up with all. When I say fed up, I don't mean he's mad at Shador or anything like that. He just want to compete.
Yeah.
And he want to compete, and he want a fair shot, and I think he's going to. And with Stefanski and his crew, they're going to give him a fair shot. They're going to give all those quarterbacks a fair shot. This is how I think the whole thing is going to. And Pickett was there too. Oh. This is how I think the whole thing is going to play out in the beginning. Obviously, Flacco, I think, is going to be number 1. Then I think number 2 is going to be Pickett, and then I don't know where we're going to go with that 3 and 4. Obviously, it's between Shador and Gabriel. I mean, those 2 guys. But I can't wait, guys. I can't wait because right now we have OTAs, but training camp. Now, when training camp show up, everybody's got to be there. But I think it's interesting, and I think all the coaches won't say this, but they are looking to see who's showing because it's volunteer. They're looking to see which guys are going to show up. You know,
it's going to be important for them to be able to block things.
Well, you know, you know who I thought was interesting that showed up? Jared Judy.
That's right.
Judy showed up because the first thing he said, I think this is very important because we have new quarterbacks and we have to get and obviously they have a new playbook.
Right.
So they all have to get on the same page. They have to get this thing going. So
I love that.
And what did I tell you guys about Flacco? Didn't I tell you guys that Flacco?
You're skipping ahead here.
I know it, but it's all on the offense. I'm still on the offense. But
I have a question for you.
Okay, I'll be quiet. I'll let you go. Go ahead.
You go first, and then I'll go.
But didn't I tell you guys that Flacco was not here to mentor any of these guys? He's here to start.
That's right.
Well,
And he pretty much said that in one of his
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is cool, too, is that, and I don't know, I'm not familiar with the scene, but having gotten credentialed for Cavs and seeing how questions tend to play out, it's really tough because for an athlete, it's got to be frustrating that you might make a comment and then it gets a little out of context for social media.
Yeah.
And then I give him a lot of respect for standing his ground, and he was very professional about it. And he's like, it's not that I'm not trying to help people out.
Right.
You know, if they ask me a question, I'm there.
Right.
But he was just trying to stand up for himself and say, hey, like, I mean, listen, I'm a seasoned professional and I'm believe in my ability.
Yeah. I think one of the funny things too is like people say this in college football all the time. We've talked about it many times on the Bobby Carpenter show where like competition in camp breeds success. Like that is helpful. I don't know why that notion goes away in the pros so much. I think it's because of the dollar signs, frankly. But it was a really candid answer that Joe gave to Daryl Ryder. It was like a minute and a half saying, I'm not here to be mean to Shedeur Sanders. I'm not here to try to, you know, get any edge that I can. But also at the same time, I'm trying to be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I thought it was a really refreshing answer that he got for Daryl.
I did too, and I also appreciated that he pointed out the conundrum that becomes answers to the media, because he pointed out, you know, if I say that I'm really not here to be a mentor, I look like an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if I say that I'm here to, you know what I mean? He was just pointing out that I'm kind of like damned
Stuck
either
in
way.
between,
No matter what I say, somebody's going to say something, you know, on X or whatever. It made him really relatable, and I feel like he humanized himself by pointing out that might seem obvious to media who come, but maybe not everybody who's hearing it third hand, you know, or second hand, or however.
But
is that even a thing, third hand?
Yeah.
Through the media,
Through the
through
grapevine.
online, through
And I guarantee you this. About Flacco. He want to see each and every one of those quarterbacks play. He want to see each and every one of them play well. They're all competing for the starting job, and you want to beat that quarterback out of the starting job. You still don't want to see them do bad or do anything bad or anything like that, but you want to play and you want to be the starting quarterback.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Lipton Hard Iced Tea hard-hitting question of the week, and we sort of alluded to it a little bit earlier, Hanford, chatting about Myles Garrett. The question is Myles the leader of this team? We've seen him certainly, I think you could make the argument, lead by example.
Well, that's a good question. I think he is a leader on this football team. I don't think he's a very vocal leader. I mean, he's not a guy that's me personally, I don't know this. I could be wrong about this. I don't think he's a guy that's going to be a rah-rah type of guy to stand up in the locker room and call someone out.
Sure.
Because we had guys on our team when I played, we call each other out. I mean, we're like, what the hell are you doing? You know, I never forget a couple of games. Like I was telling you guys, one game was Steve Largent ran a post corner on me. And in my film study, everything told me that if he did certain things, that he was definitely going to run the post and not run the post corner. And as soon as he ran did everything that I thought he was going to do in my film study, I jumped the post, and then he ran the corner, and he was wide open for a touchdown. And boy, when I came back to that bench, I mean, you had guys looking at me, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, and but I don't think he would be that type of guy. But I think he just leads by the way he carry himself and the things that he does on the football field, playing hard every single play. So I would say he is a leader, and I was trying to think again on this football team to see who else would be one of those guys that would be a leader. I thought even though Nick Chubb was a quiet guy, I thought he would be one of those leaders. And obviously, he's not. Doesn't look like he's going to be back on this football team anymore. And even Denzel Ward. I mean, Denzel Ward is also a guy that's not very vocal, but a guy I think some of the players look up to. And then Joe Patonio, on the opposite side of the ball. I mean, but I look at Joel, and I would think that Joel would be one of those guys that would just call you out, because, those big offensive linemen, who's going to mess with him? I know I'm not going to mess with him if he's.
It's funny because Joel is so soft-spoken.
Yeah.
It'd be funny. I have no idea. I don't know. Too personally, I've gotten to interview him a couple times. The sweetest guy,
right?
It's the nicest guy.
Right.
It'd be funny to get called out by him.
And Joel, I mean, anyone like in the streets or anything like that, I guarantee you, he's like you said, he's the nicest guy in the world. But on
the field,
I could see him on the field
taking care of business,
being a mean, because he's in the trenches. I mean, he gets down and dirty, and he's got to go against those offensive linemen. Yep. And I think he would be one of those guys, Pat.
Oh yeah, for sure. So here's the thing, though, guys. There's been a lot of discourse about Myles Garrett. Can he be a leader? Is he really the leader of this football team? He wears the captain's C. Why doesn't it concern you guys that he's not at OTAs, though? Because we've got that number 5 pick. Yeah. He's going to play right next to Mason Graham. Kind of interesting that he's not there. I don't think the team's too worried about it, but what are your thoughts? Is it a big deal that Myles Garrett isn't at OTAs?
And maybe people will be a little overly critical of the guy. I feel like he's proved himself. Maybe his priorities might be a little bit different at this point in time. He could be saving his body, all of the above.
Hey, Pat, he's got to go spend some of that money he's got. Yeah. He just got a new contract.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And he's got all this money he's got to go. You said it yourself. He's over there thinking about buying a house over there.
Yeah, he posted about it. Honestly, though, I think Gab is onto the one that people don't really talk about so much. That dude has been so beat up. His feet have been killing him. You saw him sitting on the bench in 2024 just, exhausted from if he can save himself in OTAs, I'm kind of okay with it. I don't love it, but you got to do what you got to do.
And he's an intelligent enough guy to, if he's got to watch stuff to catch up or this or that, he'll get it done.
But see, and then again, too, we talked about it. I mean, he's the guy, when he's on the field, you're not worried about him. You're not worried about him because he's going to give you everything he's got. His motor is constantly running, and he's gonna go 100 miles an hour on every single play. So you don't worry about a guy like that. Sure, guys. Pat, to answer your question, you would love to see him there. But you're not going to worry about it if he's not there. Because, again, we're talking about Myles Garrett.
That's a great way to put it.
I would say that Myles is, even beyond football, a little bit of a leader in Cleveland in general. Just from his minority ownership in the Cavs, his diligence to be a part of different events in the community. Maybe that's showing up in the Muni Lab before the games, or just really putting his interests and himself into Cleveland.
And I'll say this. We don't know this, but I guarantee you it wouldn't surprise me if before one of those Cavs games, playoff games, that they didn't have, the Myles didn't come in there before the game and talk to those
do a
guys.
Little,
do a little
something.
Yeah, a little something, get them going, ready to play.
Even his presence just has got to juice you up. I know Donovan was talking about those football players showing up, and then almost the entire Guardians team, and what that means for them. You want to play strong and proud for your neighbors, your elite neighbors.
Yeah.
Speaking of leadership, before we get out of this segment, I do want to shed a little spotlight on Mary Kay Cabot, who received a very honorable award, and this is from the Pro Football Writers of America, giving her the Bill Nunn Jr. Award. So she's going to be honored by the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, which is incredible. There's a couple of things we had in the notes about this award, or just Mary Kay's her legacy. Yeah. Because not a lot of people know this, but she's been covering the NFL since 1988.
Long
she's
time.
Been on the Browns Daily Beat, since 1991 as a writer, and she's only the second woman ever to receive this award. So, I kind of had to look at my notes for all this because there's a lot with it. But I encourage people to check it out, read, give her flowers, because this is somebody, as she puts it, took a lot of arrows and still does in her career. And let it be known, at least from woman to woman, and for our show to Mary Kay, we're super proud of you. You have paved the way for so many, and we really look up to you, and you've inspired so many people, us included.
And I have to say this, piggyback off of that, I've been knowing Mary Kay a long time, and she has just been phenomenal. I mean, she will go get that story. I mean, and she will, and she worked, we all know she works really hard. I mean, and
she works hard.
And she's positioned herself right now that pretty much everything she says is pretty much the gospel. I mean, because she knows, she's got the ins and out of this football team and everything that's happening with that football team. And again, I piggyback off of what you said. Congratulations, Mary Kay. You truly, truly deserve it.
She's just one strong, badass woman. I know we're going to have to do some censoring this show. Sorry about that, Pat. But there's no other way to put it. Congrats, sister. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going to go around the NFL, brought to you by our friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager and lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Guys, you know what I didn't know? I just found this out. I didn't know that Garage Beer was owned by...
Oh, come on. Yes, you did.
The 2 Kelsey
You
brothers.
didn't?
I didn't know that.
Just finding that out?
I'm sure you probably told me or mentioned it to me, but I do listen to everything you guys say, but I don't know.
Very likely story.
Yeah. That was a big deal for them. Yeah.
Hanford, how roomy is it under the rock that you live?
Well, it's not a lot. Shut up, Pat.
Man.
But I'm telling you guys, I didn't. But isn't that a great deal?
There's probably a lot of people who haven't put that together.
Yeah.
But us being in football, we were kind of like...
Of course.
But good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
Big deal.
We love Garage Beer
And
over
then
here.
they're trying to buy...
Yeah. They just purchased stake in some American football team. I forget what league it's in.
Yeah,
but,
I heard that.
Yeah. I think it's a St. Louis or Kansas City area. I know they're based in Kansas City. So.
Okay.
But yeah, they just purchased stake in an American football team. How about that?
But you know what's even bigger than that?
What's that?
Taylor just bought back.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
I mean, now, is that huge? The gap. Now, that's huge.
Now, listen, I don't know how all of those details work, but I do know that, with her and Scooter Braun, it was tense for a while because she didn't own all of her works, and then she had to re-record all these songs to try to stick it to them, and she sure did. She went out of her way. She's another one of those hard-nosed, hard worker, talented women who it's cool to see this come to fruition, where now all of her music we can stream without the guilt.
Yep. Well, you know what? But she said it was affecting her. She just couldn't. I can imagine she couldn't sleep. She couldn't, because she wanted. Off. Yeah, she was that too. Yeah.
To be in that type of controlled scenario, which honestly probably doesn't get talked about enough. There's probably a documentary about it, and if not, they should make one. But that side of music in general, and kids who sign young deals or sign contracts that are a little confining, they're not really in the artist's best interest. I think Kesha had a similar scenario where she was locked up. JoJo. Yeah.
JoJo Siwa?
No. Get out! Get out right now. I think it's just JoJo.
Okay.
She would look her up, incredibly talented. She was a phenom, Hanford, at the age of 16. Same deal.
And they took advantage of it.
Part of a deal that didn't work out in her best interest. She wasn't able to branch off, make her own music or whatever. But that similar characteristic of almost like being in a conservatorship with your label or whatnot. It sounds like that was the similar theme. So this is exciting, and it also gives the other artists hope and makes a statement.
Well, I had to, because Taylor, when I found out Taylor, she bought back all, I said, you go, girl. You go with your bad self,
Yes, sir. I wish I knew more Taylor songs. I love Taylor Swift, but I don't know all her music. Or I've tried to really like her music. It's just a little bit not my genre, but I'm still a Taylor fan, if that makes sense.
King George. That's all I'm going to say. King George.
Is that a song?
That's blues, dog. That's a blues.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a blues song.
I'm not touching that.
I know it, dog. You guys, that's a little heavy. That's a little heavy for you guys.
He's just throwing out
that's a little heavy for you guys. King George. Wait till I tell the wizard I told you guys King George, and you guys be like, what the hell is he talking about? King George.
Okay, we'll look it up. We'll play that as your walk-up song for the next show.
Okay.
Hey, let's talk remaining free agents, Hanford. There are still a lot of big-name free agents out there. Aaron Rodgers.
Guys,
he's still out there. He's still out there, guys.
This is mind-boggling to me. I mean, this is crazy. I just cannot believe that the Steelers are still running around here waiting on Aaron Rodgers, hoping that he would come and sign with their football team. They go out and get Metcalf. What did they give him, like $30 million or something like that? They sign Metcalf to this big, huge contract, and they really have no one to throw the ball to him. And they're putting all their marbles in this hat for Aaron Rodgers, which I think is crazy. I find it hard to believe because I like Tomlin. I still like him. Maybe he knows something that we don't know, but maybe he's got a commitment from this guy. But they are hot on him. And now I'm surprised because Kirk Cousins, who is saying that he right now wants to go somewhere else and play, and I would thought maybe they would try to go after him. I don't like either one of these guys. I mean, when I say I don't like them, I'm talking about as far as where they are in their career, as far as being a quarterback. But I mean, you gotta get someone other than who you have on this team. I just think that's ridiculous. But that's my pitch on the Steelers. But I'm happy if you guys want to stay out there because that that give us hope in that AFC North. That gives us hope. So yeah.
Other names: J.K. Dobbins, Nick Chubb.
Boy,
Jamal Williams. You know who else is still out there? Amari Cooper.
Yeah. Those are some names, and especially I'm going to hit those two guys talking about Amari and Nick Chubb. I mean, I heard there were some rumors that there was a couple of teams in the NFC that was maybe possibly thinking about signing Nick Chubb. And I know what Nick is doing right now. Nick is just he's just laying low. He's keeping his mouth shut. He's probably working his butt off to get in the best possible shape. And Nick never really got out of shape. He always come in camp ready to go.
He'd be the best bonus.
Yeah.
Just watch. I wouldn't bet against Nick Chubb in any universe. So you could tell me this dude got injured. He still is a freak of nature. And judging by the visual evidence of him doing these drills and the lifting, I'm like, okay, hold on a second.
Well, I want to see us. We have to really, really go after some other wide receivers. I think. Tillman. Hopefully, he'll come through.
Yeah. Would you want Cooper?
I think that ship has sailed.
Okay.
Because I don't think, and again, I don't know this for sure, but I don't think Cooper left here. Him and Stefanski or whoever, someone in that front office, not on good terms. So, but I would take him back.
You know who else I love?
Because when he had his big year, I mean, Flacco was a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I would like to see those two match up again. I think he can help us, but we have to do something as far as in that wide receiver room. I think so. I think we have to do. I think we have to. Pat, didn't we bring in a Deontay Johnson or something?
Yeah, we did. And also, he was a no-show at OTAs, guys. Yeah. He also kind of flew under the radar. He's a little bit of a head case, too. We've seen that in the past couple of years. But to sign with the Browns, your third team of the AFC North, and to not show up to OTAs, I thought was really strange. One of the other names that I would love to see us bring in is Keenan Allen, because he's kind of a possession receiver. Yeah. I don't know if you guys caught this, but at the Westwood today at the golf course, they were talking about how the offense is going to be kind of a wide zone offense now, where they're going to run the ball just like they did in 2020 and 2021. Mm-hmm. That could unlock Keenan Allen in the passing game. I would love to see him here. Yeah,
and I'm surprised too that Johnson is not here. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, because again, we got a new offensive coordinator, you got a whole new offense, and everybody need to come in here and get that. But a lot of those guys, they think they're veterans and they don't need all that extra work.
Yeah, here's my thing too. We talked about this on Honor the Land, but Max Loeb is big on Deontay Johnson. I don't really see him being a starter for us. I see him being the backup in case of emergency if Jerry Jeudy goes down, because to me they're running kind of similar routes. I mean, Max is definitely more into the tape than I am, but it just kind of seems like Deontay's running all these out routes, intermediate stuff that Jerry kind of runs. He's not really a deep threat, Jerry Jeudy, but it's strange for me that he's not at OTAs because why would you skip this? It doesn't really make any sense.
And then, I was talking about Tillman. I mean, he's not that burner.
Right.
I mean, he's a big target, a big tall guy.
More like Nico Collins.
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. And but let me tell you this though. You want me to talk about this safety that the Ravens have right now?
Oh boy.
Oh.
Or shall I leave it? Shall I talk about it?
Yeah, go for it.
Listen to me. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
All right.
You know who I'm talking
Starks,
about.
right?
Malachi.
That's right. That's
Iron
right.
Man.
Watch and see what I tell you.
Just a few days ago, officially signed with his contract.
Watch and see what I tell you. This kid is a beast. I mean, I know I'm not coming across the middle catching that ball with him in there.
Yep.
There's no way I would go in there because I'm telling you, he will take your head off. And the Ravens, though, it just seemed like they just keep loading up.
Yeah.
They just keep loading up players, bringing them in, bringing them. And it's fun. Again, today I was talking about, someone came up to me and we were talking about it. That's what they said about the Baltimore Ravens because they asked me about Ozzie. They said he's still with the team. I said, yeah, he's still with the team. He's in the draft room. He said, man, they just keep loading up.
Yeah.
I mean, just keep bringing players in. So that's why we got to do something else as far as the wide receivers. We got to do that because I'm telling you guys, 3 games, and I have confidence in Stefanski's staff and him and his staff. I know they're going to win more than 3 games. I just feel it. I just know it. I think we're going to be right in the thick of things this year.
Real quick, before we move off and take a break with these free agents, what did you guys think about Zadarius Smith, though, too? I see his name is on here. And from a defensive standpoint, the Browns wouldn't. Do you think they would re-sign him?
I mean, I don't really see it happening. We invested so much in Mason Graham.
Yeah.
And, Myles is still here. He's got a huge contract.
So it's all going to be on his shoulders?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd love to bring him in for cheap, but I just don't see having traded him away. Was it to the Lions? I think it was for like a 7th or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't really see bringing him back in. I'd welcome him with open arms. I think he was a great player for us. But
if we got a good enough deal, I really liked him.
I loved him. I thought it'd be great.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's.
Won't.
Yeah, not cheap.
because the financial he couldn't work something out with the Detroit Lions.
Well, the other thing too is keep in mind, guys, that we did. It's post June 1 now, so we got a couple of cuts that we did.
Yes.
With it was Juan Thornhill and it was Dalvin Tomlinson, right? So we opened up nearly $10 million in salary cap space. That's a lot of money to bring somebody in, especially a wide receiver like Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. That's a lot of money to bring him in for 1 year.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It is time for the Top Dogs Pick Sixes, thanks to our friends at Infinity USA. This is like a little rapid fire 6 questions, Hanford. It's something new we're going to try.
Okay.
Top Dogs Pick 6. 1. Who will be the Browns' starting quarterback this season?
Boy, that's interesting. I'm going to go. I think Joe Flacco is going to be the starter for the beginning of the year. But I think what's going to surprise some people is I think Shador is going to end up being number 2. And I don't know what's going to happen with Pickett, guys. I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen because we all know that there's talent in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about a guy that was a first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know he's got talent, but is it going to come out? I mean, he
might be the most interesting to me on the roster, just because all the hoopla has been about Gabriel and Sanders and, what Flacco brings. But I think he's the interesting.
And like I told you, I met Gabriel today. I mean, this kid, this kid can play. I mean,
I was going to ask in a previous segment, but since you brought that up, I know this isn't that rapid of a question, but since we're trying to do our quick hitters, but really quick, I think it was The Athletic put out a story recently, an article that kind of alluded to the fact that, and it was just an opinion piece, but that maybe Gabriel doesn't really look like an NFL quarterback. Like, this far into what people have seen. Do you agree with that or no?
I thought that was the most ridiculous statement. That's crazy. I mean, how are you going to look at a kid and tell me that he he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. I mean, because you're not in there with him. You're not you're not in the meeting rooms with him. You're not on the practice field with him. Sometimes they let you on the practice field, but not the whole time. I mean, I saw him today, and he looked like an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, I think the kid can play. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait because I'm going to give.
I was just curious because a little more time has elapsed. We've been able to see a little bit more.
I saw that.
So people are starting to weigh on their professional opinions.
Yeah, and I totally disagree with that. Go ahead, Pat.
It was Zach Jackson from The Athletic, and it's kind of interesting too because in this town, like, all we've had to go on for I'm 29 years old. All we've had to go on since the Browns came back was off-season rumors.
Yeah.
You know, what quarterback looks good? Can this guy make it in the league? Mm-hmm. Guys, it's been a week basically. Like, we got all these stats of Shedeur Sanders was 9 of 12 passes with one touchdown. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And plus, all of those stats that you're getting, he didn't throw 12 passes in a day. That's only the only ones that you saw, guys. You're not in the meeting rooms. You're not on the inside.
Yeah.
You can't tell me he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback after 2 weeks in Berea.
Yeah, that's tough.
And again,
to crucify a guy that early.
Yeah, and then you're going to tell me that Andrew Berry, his whole staff, Stefanski, all those guys, I mean, they drafted this kid number 3, the third pick. I mean, they had to see something in him. So, all right, Gab, go ahead. Keep firing.
Number 2.
Keep firing at me. Keep firing.
Who will be the Browns' leading rusher this season?
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. I think
Ford, Judkins, Sampson.
I think it's going to be. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those rookies that we brought in here. I think the kid from Ohio State or the kid from Tennessee. I think one of those guys is going to be our leading rusher because I think they're going to be 1-2 because those guys, they're outstanding backs. And I'm pretty satisfied right now with that running back room.
Okay. Who will have the second most sacks on the Browns, considering that Myles has got to be number 4?
Okay, and it's funny when you were talking about those running backs. I almost said it depends on, let's see how Stump Mitchell is going to work them. But Stump is gone, you know what I'm saying? Who's gonna have the second most sacks? Oh, well, we know, like you said, Myles is going to be number 1. You know, I'm going to go out on a limb. I am going to go with, I think this kid from Michigan, you know, even though he's more of a run stopper, I think he's going to go out of his way. And I think Mason Graham, with as much money as we paid his damn ass, he better, and I'm sorry, you better cut me off, Pat, but he better rush it and get some sacks.
He better come to play.
And I think he's gonna be the beneficiary from Myles being double team and triple team. So I think he's gonna be the one.
Okay. Now that the schedule is out, which game are you most confident in the Browns winning? And maybe, Pat, if we have it, we can pull it up. But just to remind you, and maybe you remember some of our schedule, but who, out of the teams, who are you most confident in Browns getting a dub?
Well, again, it's pretty tough because, again, we only won 3 games last year.
Yeah.
And
honestly, a couple of those was like a little bit surprised. You know, the Browns, it's one of those things, and this is probably just an NFL thing, or maybe it's just a Brown thing. I don't know. Where there's games you think you're definitely going to win, and then you don't. And then there's games you think are going to be such a tall challenge, and then we get out there and win.
You see, what I know you guys realize, but a lot of people don't realize, is that on any given Sunday, any team can beat any team because, again, you're talking about professional football, and everybody is a professional athlete on each one of those teams. So, you never really know. I always like to look at that AFC North schedule. I mean, where we got Pittsburgh twice, we got Baltimore twice, we got Cincinnati twice. I like to look in that division. I would at least like to split. I'd like to beat all of them twice each time in the division. Yeah. But then again, I would like to split those games. But I don't know, Gab. It's kind of tough to say which team or which game that you're guaranteeing a win because that's hard. Because, again, I go back to on any given Sunday, anybody can beat.
I think the truth of it is I don't see a guaranteed win on there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Raiders game, that one feels like we would be favored in that game, but I don't see a single game where we were like, oh, that's a win. I don't see that type of game on the schedule this year. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of questions. The Bears and the Titans, you know, you never know, but There's no guaranteed wins on this schedule.
And then again, we only won 3 games last year.
I know. But it's kind of one of those things. We beat the Ravens last year.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it really is any given Sunday. So it's hard. I feel like predicting can even be hard sometimes, at least for us.
And I guarantee you this. Like you said, we beat the Ravens last year. Everybody probably had us to lose that game.
Of course.
Everybody had. We come around and we win it.
If you were betting, you probably had.
We won that one for Jim Donovan, though.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
that was
absolutely.
That was the highlight of the season.
Absolutely.
That was unbelievable, too. He deserved that win, too.
I think that win was divinely orchestrated, and there's no other way to explain that win. Okay, what is the toughest game on the Browns' schedule, you think? Toughest?
I think the toughest is those games in the AFC North. I think those teams, even though you play those teams twice a year, even though each and every team know each other, I'm gonna say the teams in the AFC North. Those are the toughest games that's gonna happen for us.
Yeah, there's guys. The toughest one, to my opinion, and Gab, you pick one too, but is that Steelers game going to Pittsburgh after coming home from a home game in London. So the Steelers are right off their bye week. We're traveling back and losing the time, the jet lag, all that type of stuff. Then you got to go into formerly Heinz Field where the Steelers are playing. Yeah, that's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah. I just think the Ravens are always tough.
Always.
Yeah, for sure.
Always.
They're always tough.
And then the Bengals, too.
And I was going to say the Bengals, too.
That's why I said
they're always got something. I mean, they're a tenacious team.
Those AFC North teams.
Joe Burrow is a tough cookie. Hanford, what was
Do it again.
Tough cookie. I heard an echo right there.
I thought you had seriously hit yourself.
You've never done this before?
Yeah.
Hear a little echo, Hanford.
But Gab, boom.
Yep. Man.
Yeah, he's a one of those make something happen guys. So I feel like you could never count them out.
No.
This is a fun one. I love this one.
Rookies all across the league have been signing their contracts. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, Hanford, what was the first big purchase you made as a rookie? You had a little less play money back then.
Yeah. What did I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think I
Come on,
you know what I
There's got to be something.
Well, I do know you got
what
that
I bought?
check ripped
I know
out
what
and
I
then-
bought. I know what I bought. This is funny. This is so funny because you have one right now.
No way.
A Jeep.
Did you buy a Jeep?
I bought a Jeep.
How about that?
And listen to this.
Whoa.
Listen to this. I remember not only did I buy a Jeep, I drove the Jeep from Alabama back here. Yeah, I did.
Was it a Wrangler?
I did.
Tell me it was a Wrangler. You never told me this.
Because I forgot about it. I just thought about it when you said
I didn't
that.
know you were in the group like that.
That was, yeah.
Wow.
Was it a top? Did it have the top come off?
Hey, the top came off.
Yeah.
Top came off.
It's about to be summertime here,
Yes.
guys. It's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah.
If the top isn't off of your Jeep already, Gab, you got to get that taken care of.
I just got the
That's
Jeep.
going to be a good one.
I just got that Jeep detailed. I'm a little worried about these midgies still lingering
Sure.
around. I don't know.
They're crazy.
I gotta wait till they're
Man.
gone before I open up the thing
They
because
are
I don't want them
all
to
over the
smear
place.
everywhere. All right, let's just talk about this really quickly. Those little midges. All right, not that they can hear me, not that they can receive this message, but I would just like to say all of y'all are floppers.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to kill you. You just showed up and you were all dead, like on my hand when I go to open the door. I go to look at my phone as soon as I get in the door, and there's just like 5 of them squished, flopping on my phone. Flop. That's what I have to say.
I'll tell you what, too, because apparently it's a sign that the lake is healthy. Terrific. Get him away.
Yeah.
Get him away from me. I do not care. I love the lake as much as the next guy. Get it away from me.
How many days have I made a cup of coffee or tea and I can't make it out the door to my car before there's like
They're falling in there.
falling in there and I'm like getting them out. Oh.
Get me out of here, Gab.
All right. Is this a show?
One more.
One more. We'll be right back with more Hanford Dixon show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon show. Just a couple minutes left of the show.
Wait. I have a question for you.
Yes?
Before you get going, I have a question for you.
Okay, hit me.
Pat, I want to ask her, did you have anything to do with Hosey not extending his hitting streak?
Yeah, it
Don't lie now.
We would have loved to have seen it gone to 22 games, wouldn't we have? Well, okay, here's how it went.
Okay.
We do a player to watch every home game. So we're digging through the stats and, we're looking, we do our highlights and we highlight the player. It was going to be Jose. And on the graphic, shout out to Owen who helps us create graphics. He and I go back and forth on what should be included. And he had in there about the 21 game streak. And I asked him, since baseball is such a game of superstition, I said, are you sure you want me to announce this to the entire ballpark prior to the game that he's on a 21 game hit streak? And he said yes, because, hey, we've done it before. We've mentioned it prior. And I had a lot of reservations with it in my gut about, am I going to be jinxing the guy? But I went with it. I went forward and did it. And sure enough, that was the last time. That was the end of his streak.
Friday night.
You know what killed me? When you have one of the guys and they'll say, well, this guy right here, he's batting, someone we're playing. He's gone for 0 for 16, and sure enough, the damn guy get up there and get a hit or hit a home run or something.
Right.
I'm like, come on. What the hell's going on?
You got to use a lot of reverse psychology in baseball.
Yeah.
Even from a spectating standpoint, even from an announcing standpoint, from a reporting standpoint. Well, I guess reporters try to be neutral. But, the announcer guys, you'll hear them every so often. If the other team, someone's got a no-hitter, they'll point it out.
Yeah, that's right. Hanford, who was the most superstitious on any of your Browns teams?
Yeah.
Was Ozzy?
Yeah, it was a lot of us.
Superstitious?
A lot of us are superstitious. I used to wear this same shirt under my shoulder pads every single game. If I came to the locker room and that shirt was not hanging up in my locker, we would have a problem.
No kidding.
Because it was the same old white shirt. It was long, like right about here, and it was cut off.
Yeah.
And I wanted that old shirt. And if you'd have looked at me, you said, Hanford, come on now. Come on. Go get a new shirt. I mean, but no, I just wanted that shirt because
you got Jeep money.
Yeah.
He's got Jeep money.
Yeah. I just thought, listen to this. I just thought if I went out there without that shirt, something bad was going to happen.
Interesting. So football players may be just as superstitious as baseball.
You got it, girl. You go, girl. You go with your bad self.
Oh, this guy. It's funny. We shot at a different time today. We were a little kooky behind in our breaks. Thanks. Shout out to producer Pat. We'll see you with more Hanford Dixon Show next week.